Bedroom Sounds Production. What up, sound? What up, sound?
Let's see those juice boxes, y'all. If you were on the show, go ahead and hit that plus sign. Let's see those juice boxes, y'all. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Red Room Talk. You can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host, Jen. The Red Room Talk is a show about love, intimacy, and interpersonal relationships, including self, to erase different social stigmas. To show that in the end, no matter your background, we all have commonalities when it comes to matters of the mind and the heart. Nothing is off the table in the Red Room Talk. This week, we are going to discuss love languages with this week's topic, Speak Your Love Language. Sound familiar? That's because we are doing it again, yes. Please stick around till the end, though, y'all, because we need the audience's help later in the show, so do not go anywhere, okay? Before we get started, all that I ask is you keep your mind open and your language clean. Tonight in the Red Room, we have an all-star cast. We have Wancho Number, Snow Bunny, and Preach Positivity. Let's find out how the panel feels about love languages. But before we get started, all that I ask is you keep your mind open and your language clean. Hello, everybody.
Hello. How y'all?
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good, baby. How are you?
Great. Welcome to the Red Room, y'all. Welcome back to the Red Room for those of y'all who have been here before. We do have a stand-in co-host tonight. Y'all may know who he is. If you don't, please make sure you favorite him. Yes. So because we are polite here in the Red Room, we let ladies go first. So go ahead, Snow Bunny, and let us know what you got going on in the app, any content you have, and then we will move on to the gentlemen.
Hi, everybody. I'm Snow Bunny, GQ Gang, Bell Gang. That's my people. You can find me there. You can find me with KOD. You can find me with basically that whole crew of people. And I also have a show with Nikki 24/7 that we swap off lives every week, Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern. We talk about just different mental health concerns and different things, trying to get us mentally prepared for our week. And we also do a lot of meditation and affirmations as well. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, preach. Let us know what you got going on.
Heard that. What's the word? It's preach positivity in here, where I try to motivate, uplift, and inspire everybody with a demand of respect. We don't play that game, not in here, not in mine, not in anybody I know, just like that. Y'all can catch me on Wednesdays. I'm trying to get something popping off where we do POW, Praise Our Women Wednesdays, and we just uplift and motivate women and the ladies and not just limit them to their sexual amazingness. But yeah, that's what we're doing. That's me preaching positive. That's what I do.
And I guess I'm your co-host, Want Your Number.
Surprise!
You can find me on the feature show Pour It On every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also find me on Soul Food Sunday with your host, Gin and Juice, for Soul Food Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also find me on Tuesday, also with your host, Gin and Juice, for game nights. We do trivia, riddles, and emoji charades. And then you can also catch me on Wednesday with the original co-host. I'm replacing tonight, G-Way or No Way. We in his live with Sports Block at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So fellas, y'all pull up.
I guess I'm the host, actually, today, y'all. No, I'm just kidding. I am Jen and Jewish, y'all. I'm the host of this very talk show, y'all. You can find me every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here. Other than that, you can find me every Tuesday, as he said, for game night at 7 p.m. Every Thursday at 9 p.m. with King of Diamonds, that #1 top bubble. And then what other day we got? Sunday. Also, we'll watch on Nova. We do Soul Food Sundays where we talk about love, life, and life, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and get started since we're actually talking about love tonight. Love languages specifically, y'all. If you're looking to break a relationship or simply want to learn how to love your partner in a way they'll better receive, you might be asking yourself, what are the 5 love languages? The truth is that falling in love is often fun and easy, but building and maintaining an intimate relationship involves conscious effort. Understanding and even changing the way you show love to be more in line with the 5 love languages can improve your relationship by aiding in communication and overall satisfaction. The 5 love languages are preferred ways in which we would like to be shown love. All these are preferred ways and preferred methods of receiving emotional nourishment in a relationship. What is important to understand is that we are not limited to identifying with just one love language. Everybody tends to fall in a little bit higher on some and a little bit lower on some of them. The 5 love languages are acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, words of affirmation, and physical touch. The first love language is acts of service. This is a love language where actions speak louder than words. So basically, acts of service has to do with how well somebody takes care of their partner's physical and environmental needs. A person who identifies with this love language appreciates being shown through their partner's action how much they are cared for. Some of these actions usually include taking something off their plate or going out your way to do something for them. Examples consist of household chores, taking the kids to school during a busy morning, picking up the dry cleaning, anything actionable with the message being, I care about you. So for the first question, what is your love language and how did you discover it? Anyone can pick it up.
My top love language is physical touch, and I did the actual test on the 5 love languages website. But also just from being me and knowing myself. So there's both parts of that.
I did the test as well, and mine is words of affirmation that I rank the highest with. But as far as, I think that's what I'm most skilled at with giving and showing. I'm very great with my words. But I dabble in a little bit of all of them, I'm not even gonna lie. All of them.
3 of mine are super high and 2 of them are super low.
I'm actually the same. Quality time is my main one, but words of affirmation is like really close, and then physical touch is right after that. And I found out mine just from also doing the 5 love language quiz. First, I did it through the book, through my job. Some years ago, it was like a managerial tool that they used to be able to connect with our employees that were under us. And then I did 4 years ago, I did it, and the first time around, words of affirmation was first, and quality time was second. So it's switched a little bit over the time.
Mine has too. Mine has adjusted a little bit too. Like receiving gifts 2 years ago was at 0. Now it's at 3%. So I guess I'm a little more vain now.
Not vain.
Just a little bit more, just 3%. It's just 3%, y'all. It's not that much.
Mine's at a whopping 6.
On gifts?
And gifts, and yeah.
Yeah, mine's at 3%.
I mean, I like them. I'm just awkward when I receive them. I don't know how to, you know what I'm saying? Just, this is weird. Yeah. Love them, though. Don't stop. It's just awkward.
Love them, though. Don't stop.
It's weird. I'm trying to get used to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to learn.
So, my first love language or my main love language, and they're ranked really close. It is quality time and words of affirmation. But I won't say that they're real low, but physical touch and gifts is very last on the totem pole. Not saying also, like you guys said, that I don't love gifts. I just think it was more of something that just didn't happen often enough for it to really even be relevant for me. So, but definitely quality time is top tier for me and probably means the most to me. So the kind of the second part of the question is, can you explain the importance of love languages in relationships?
I would just say it's not everybody believes in love languages, but if you do, I think it's a good way to understand your partner. Not even just your partner, but like I said, I used it in the job atmosphere. The love language quiz, they have it actually for like kids, so you know how to interact with your kids and stuff like that. They have it for adults, they have it for jobs and all that. So it's just whatever relationship you're trying to build with a person, I feel like it can help you love that person the right way or show that appreciation to them the right way.
Right.
I think I can piggyback off that. I agree. Like love languages can be used in every form of relationship. And then I also think too, you don't necessarily have to know someone's. If you tap into a little bit of all of them, you can't miss. You know what I'm saying? So they're all an asset. You know what I mean? Like, so if you take time and just get to learn and experience all of them, then you can apply all of them. And then whichever one somebody reacts to the highest from, then you know where to go from there. But I think they're definitely necessary in relationships, all forms of relationships.
Yeah, no, I guess I definitely just agree with what the guys said. It's really just about knowing yourself and knowing how to meet people where they're at.
For sure. So importance in relationship is because I feel like a lot of times we try to love people in our love language instead of discovering their own. So it kind of, it's just the way that your partner needs to receive love. Like, especially if you're openly communicative with your partner, they can allow you in to let you know what their love languages are, hopefully. And if not, then you learn by, watching and observing and getting to know that person. You can learn their love language just by the actions or their reactions to how you show love. Because the way that I show love and give or show love is not the way that I receive love. And it's really funny because the one thing that I love to do the most is actually the lowest on my love languages. I do love to give gifts and show appreciation in that way. So, and I always thought it was kind of funny. I'm like, it's funny the way that I show love is very different from how I receive love. And not even saying that's the first thing that I go to is gifts, but it's just something that I do love to see the reaction on someone's face when you really like put thought into what you get somebody, or you know what I'm saying, that just like I said, that real thought process to finding something that that person will love. But yeah, I think
it's kind of wild that you said that, because the two that I think I do the most for people are my lowest two. Like, I have my top three are very high, right? Those are physical touch, quality time, and acts of service. And then words of affirmation and receiving gifts are really low, but those are the ones that I think I definitely do the most of.
Yeah. Like I said, the way that I like show it and receive it, and it's like even like acts of service, like that one's, I would honestly feel like maybe I should take the test again, because I would really honestly feel like acts of service should be last, as hard as it is to have anyone do something for me. But yeah, and it's fun, and it's just, to me, it's kind of funny that the way that you show love and receive love, it can be very different. I always just thought that was funny about myself, that the way I show and receive is also too very different. But do you guys have anything else to share? No? Moving on. So if y'all are just pulling up, that's okay. We have so much more to come. You can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Red Room Clock. Don't make fun of me. We just discussed what's your love language and how you discovered it. But the second love language is receiving gifts, the last on my totem pole. For those who love language is receiving gifts, they feel most special when receiving a heartfelt, physical representation of how much a person loves you. It may sometimes be confused as materialistic, but it is truly the thought that counts here. After all, it's more about the meaning of the gift and not about the price tag. It's about the gift being a symbol of how well you know, how much I like you, and how much I listen to you. Gifts can be small things like flowers or candy, or bigger things like fancy jewelry or a car. At the end of the day, gift giving is about really demonstrating your love for somebody by giving them something you know they would appreciate. So for the next question, do you think it's necessary for partners to have the same love language? And why?
No, I definitely don't think it's like important that they have the same, but I think what is important is that you understand what your partner's love language is and how you can accommodate that. Even if it's not the same as yours. And that on both sides of that.
I agree, and I think it's kind of what Preach said, that if you have an understanding of all the love languages, and then you try to apply those with that person, if they haven't taken the test, you can kind of figure out what stimulates them, in a loving manner, and then you apply that. Stop. Stop.
I'm trying to keep a straight face, Lord.
But yeah,
if you missed that, I'll go over those momentarily. Just stay tuned. Keep those comments going, and I'll get back to that. Go ahead.
But yeah, just having an understanding of the love languages, and then having an understanding of your partner, so that you know how to love them properly, whatever that love language is. I haven't met anybody with their love language is like specifically gifts, but I've heard of it, and I'd be interested to see what that would be like. Not for me, but just what that interaction would be like.
You see how quick he said? No, not for me. That was quick. That was quick. Good save. Good save.
Just to elaborate on that even more, like if you do have examples of or have an understanding of all 5 forms, then what if your partner hadn't like it's not like they don't believe in it, but they never experienced it before. So if you have an ability to address it or provide it, then you know what I'm saying, they can learn something new and be like, damn, I didn't even know I like this. I never experienced it, and actually they do, and they grow fond of it. So if you do have, you know what I'm saying, you spend that time because I mean, what's the limitation behind love? If I know 2 and there's 3 more, why not, you know, try to gain my knowledge on that so I can be a provider of all forms? Because if they find out in the street and they come home with it and they're like, damn, like, I would like to see what this is like. You know what I'm saying? So I think it is important to have an understanding of them and to apply them, like, for both people, for both parties, for sure.
Do I think it's... He's like, I'm in trouble later. Do you think it's necessary for partners to have the same love language? Honestly, no. I just happen to have a partner who has the same love language, but I don't think it's necessary because, I mean, maybe if it's quality time, because if you don't value quality time, that might be something that would hinder. So if that doesn't rank high in your totem pole and your partner needs quality time and you don't, that might become a problem at some point. You know what I'm saying? So that, like, in that specific instance, I could see. Or like I said, if one partner, I don't know, I think really that's kind of the one that if you have the same, that probably would work the best. That if you had the opposite, or you just didn't, you know, understand that feeling would be different. But I think that would probably be the best matchup, is to have that same love language. But I don't think you have to. I mean, do I want someone who's the same as me? No. I feel like differences can create a deeper bond, because not everybody's the same. Let's be honest. We all have very different likes and interests, and if you happen to have common interests, that's great. But I want someone who I can learn from at the end of the day. Someone who could teach me something different. You know, I don't have to be with someone who has every common interest, likes the same everything, because how mundane would that be? I don't want to date myself. Like, let me be honest. There's already one of me. We don't need to, you know? But, yeah, I don't think you do. But the second part of this question is, do you think love languages can change over time or in different relationships?
Absolutely.
I agree. I mean, I just said it when I answered initially, that I had taken it, you know, once before with the job, and then years later I took it again, you know, before I decided to get into the dating scene, you know, and it very much they're still close. The 2 are still close, but they just flopped. My quality time flopped with my words of affirmation.
No, for sure. I mean, the same. I agree with everybody. I can't even elaborate on it. It's just, I agree.
But no, mine definitely changed. Like for me, okay, so I took the test 2 years ago, and acts of service was my number 4 in importance. And now that's my number 3. So words of affirmation and acts of service switched for me. So that was definitely in the last couple of years. My growth as a person, I feel like those changed for me.
For sure. I definitely can agree that love languages can change over time or in different relationships. Because at least for me, I'm very chameleon-like, and so you kind of like fit your partner's needs. In an instance, I just got lucky with someone with the same, you know, main love language. But I mean, I've kind of, quality time's always, I think, been my top love language. But I believe, like, especially if, as you grow, like when you're younger, say like a couple got together in high school, right? And their needs were very different back then when they were younger to when you grow up, when you're grown and you're adults. I feel like, things change over time. Your needs are different. You have children, you have a household, you know what I'm saying? So your top love language may be quality time, just on the aspect of you have less of it. You know what I'm saying? So, when you're young and wild and free, it might be gifts because you don't need the quality time the way that you needed back, that you need when you're older, because you're so busy doing other things. You know what I'm saying? So I could think in that instance of just as far as like adolescence to adulthood, or even like young adults, that changes over time, or even as you grow older, that might very much change for me. And who knows, but I very much have kind of kept the same, at least for myself, I've kind of kept the same love languages from the gate. And they very much, even like I said, the acts of service and gifts has always been low on the totem pole for me. I've just never been like a materialistic person. But if y'all are just pulling up, that's okay. You haven't missed much. We still have a lot more to discuss, y'all, so stay tuned. We will need you later in the show. You guys can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the Red Room Talk, y'all. We just discussed what is your love language and how did you discover it. Do you think it's necessary for partners to have the same love language? And can love languages change over time or in different relationships? The third love language is quality time. Quality time refers to uninterrupted focus or time together with no distractions. It's about prioritizing that time together and truly giving your partner your attention, connecting on an emotional level, actively listening, and being engaged. It's often helpful to plan these instances of quality time. I suggest setting up a calendar invitation for your partner or building that time into your weekly schedule. It could be anything from going out to dinner to game night or to just simply watching a movie together. The next question is, have you ever experienced challenges in relationships due to differences in love languages?
Yes. I realize my timing is always wrong. I have terrible timing. Like, it's crazy because, and I think that could actually attest to the last question as well, because it's like there's a time and a place for everything. You know what I'm saying? If your biggest love language is quality time, but I just pissed you off, you don't want time with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't just be in your presence because you don't want me around, and that's understandable. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's also in addition to, just being aware of the love languages and having a variety of them, because it's like, all right, man, I have to give you time so you can, do whatever you do in that time. We can come back to it. But yeah, I suck.
Can you name an instance that like where you had like that disconnect in that, like in a moment, like where just you said, just as far as just making them angered, where you, oh, he's singing the song of his people, Lord. That is my love language, hearing my dog howl, y'all. It really is. How about
I think all right, so words of affirmation is probably my most skilled ability to love. Like, I feel like I have an ability to uplift, you know what I'm saying, and just show care with my words. There was a specific time, a lady I was dating, she was going through something that was hard, and I didn't know how to handle it because I had never been through the situation. She wanted physical touch, just to be held, to know that I was there for her without saying a word. I didn't catch that wave at all. You know what I'm saying? In the midst of me speaking, she was just like, I don't want to hear about this. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to hold me. Like, I just want to be held. Like, I just want to just feel like I'm okay, and squeeze me tight to the point where I forget of what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? So that's one time. That was a long time ago. I've recovered from this. I'm better in that aspect, but it's a thing.
See, but that's a double-edged sword, because physical touch is my number one, and I've definitely in the past been called clingy, and it's like, no, I'm not clingy. I just want to be touched. So there's a difference. There's a difference.
It really is. It really is. But it's the timing. I don't always have the right timing.
Me either.
Do any of us actually ever really have the right timing, though? I definitely don't.
It hurt kind of being the only one to mention. I was like, everybody just quiet. Like, no one's gone through this before.
No. It's definitely not just you, love. That's all of them.
Not for the physical touch, but for like the quality time itself. I've had it where, trying to set aside that time and it's not, being respected, like I said, as a father, trying to date, you know what I'm saying? And just being like, oh, I need you to let's go do this right now. And it's like, nah, I can't just stop and do it right now. That's why I try to make plans with you, you know what I'm saying? So because I have to set those things in place to make sure I have proper arrangements for our kid. But then you don't want to reciprocate that same respect to me so that we can have that quality time. So like I said, if it's something like that, like I feel like if that person can't give me quality time, like it's gonna be an issue. You know what I mean? Like I really think we're gonna bump heads because I very much need that in my relationship, and I get that in my relationship. So.
And do.
The bell for me.
And do. But like challenges for me, I think, because as we have the same love language, so I very much am not in this relationship, but as far as like, I can say as far as like my ex, like I told you, gifts is very low on the totem pole, but for a reason. He was one of those people that wouldn't like buy gifts unless it was something he did wrong. And so now when someone buys me gifts, I automatically think, oh, you cheated. Oh, you messed up. Oh, you did this. Or, oh, you did something real bad, so it's like, it's almost a trigger now. It's like, but I had to like come out of that because I had to say like, no, someone actually just, wants to do something nice for you. But it's very hard because nobody ever just genuinely thought of something that I liked or wanted, just because, like, they've never really got to know me enough to know what I really liked. They really just would buy something to pacify me. They never really got to know me because had you known me, the things that you bought me wouldn't have been bought. You would know that I'm very much not a materialistic person. Even as much as like, I talk with girls all the time and I see on Facebook where they have these big, huge wedding rings and they want, they're so focused on the ring as far as like, that's a gift. But, they focus on the size of the diamond and I'm like, I like the size of the love. The size of the diamond, I'm very much a minimalist. I wear the same necklace every day, same jewelry every day. I am very much a minimalist. I like dainty and small and simple. I'm a simple person because the things that, for me, the quality time means so much more, and they were very much self-centered, very much about self. So that was like really a challenge for me, just kind of like, having opposing love languages. They were just, that is an instance where it was difficult to have opposing love languages. And especially in the way that they showed love versus the way they received love. I am very much a chameleon to my partner. I can read my partner. I know what it is that they need when they need it. Not saying I always get it right, but I very much know, you can tell when your partner just needs that physical touch or a hug. And I'll very much voice it. You can tell, I just need a hug, especially... you just know when you need that closeness, especially for me. I'm by myself 90% of the time, so there's times that I might just need a hug. And what if you buy me a necklace and really I just need something as simple as a hug? You know what I'm saying? So having those, opposing things or not reading your partner properly, but sometimes it's not even about reading your partner. Sometimes it's okay to just ask. What do you need from me in this moment? What do you need? And that's something even I need to implement more in my own relationship, to make sure that, your partner, even I've so much as instead of saying I love you, do you feel loved? That's a word of affirmation, just to let you know, like, hey, the words, it's not high on his totem pole. I won't say it's his number one language, whether it's his same, want to know that he actually feels that. You know, I could say I love you 100 times, but do you feel that? You know what I'm saying? So it can really be difficult when you have two different people, because relationships are what they are. They're two different people from two different places with different needs and abilities, and you're putting them together as one. So you're going to have those challenges and relationships, and it's up to you to pinpoint what works and what doesn't. It's not, everything is not like a cookie cutter puzzle piece that's always going to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? So really just learning your partner, or even if instead of making them guess, like I said, tell them or ask them what it is that they need in that moment. And it's really just as simple as that, people. It is.
And I've been an advocate for that for a really long time, because I feel like the one thing that's missing in 95% of relationships nowadays, and why none of them are working out, is because the communication falls. People stop talking. Like I can't read your mind, you can't read my mind. So if I just tell you what's in my mind and you tell me what's in your mind, now everything's on the table, and now we can decide to how we're going to move forward from that.
Yeah, put the energy into the need instead of the guessing part.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not talked about enough for me, but it's like I've heard a lot of women, not all of them of course, but a lot of women say that they shouldn't feel like they have to teach a man how to love them. We should come equipped with the ability. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. All my experience with love is when I've been received and experienced. So I'm bringing old product to a new situation. It's like, how can I possibly make that work? You're your own individual. It's like, what's wrong with having an interview with somebody and tossing them the keys? Like, hey, I like what you're doing, but you can do it better like this. You know what I'm saying? And let me perfect that.
Harder, not harder.
Come on. And we're a unit. Why do we make each other struggle in a relationship? It's like, I want the best for you. You want the best for me. Let's give each other the proper ability to do both.
Right.
Oh, I felt that one. Damn.
I think it's a fool's game to think that your partner just knows. Now, and I'm not going to say, because I'm also one of those people, like, I wish people just knew, like, even as, not even just as far as a partner, but you have love languages with your family also. You know, you have needs and desires, and how you receive love from your family, because that's your family, and your parents especially is where you first learn how to love and how to receive love and how you receive love. So a lot of you get these things from your parents and how you know, receive and give. So I think it's a fool's game to believe that someone should just know. Now, I'm one of those people, not that I always know everything, but like I said, I'm kind of a chameleon, and I'm very observant. He's very an observant person. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you can just know what it is that you need. And I can tell you, he does 90% of the time. You know, as far as there'll be moments, you know, when I might be in therapy and I look up and there's the, you know, and I'm having a really bad time, and I'm going through anxiety, or I'm crying and like expressing, you know, a trauma or something that I'm going through or something that I'm feeling. And in that exact moment, and it's right on time, I swear, because Lord, praise Jesus, you know, I'll get the, I love you, beautiful. And I'll just be like, and I know it's like, see, it's like he just feels it, or he just knows, you know what I'm saying? And so, or even not even just that, it's just like, you know, he just knows the moment when I need it. Even if without me saying it, he could read body language. A lot of people cannot read body language. You know, we give different social cues that people do not pick up on. Even in, like I said, as far as not even just relationships, but your family relationships, your friendships. I can tell you when my mama needs a hug, we'll just say that. I can tell you she very much, you can tell, or just don't talk to her and get her some coffee, okay? In the morning, do not talk to her, do not pass go, do not collect $200. Get that woman some coffee, throw it, and run, okay? Do not talk to that woman before she has her coffee. That is a love language, okay? You know, so just learning, you know, the people around you. This is a feature show, y'all. If you do want to make comments at the end, or if you, you know, you're very much welcome to the box at the end to add in anything at the end. But do you guys have anything else to add in on that? I think I got distracted for 2 seconds. No? Okay. So if y'all are just pulling up, that's okay. You can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Red Room Talk, y'all. You guys have not missed it all. We do have still more to discuss, but y'all in the audience, please stay tuned. Keep your tuchus parked in the seat, y'all. We do need you guys a little bit later in the show, so stay tuned, okay? But the last thing we asked or discussed, what is your love language? How did you discover it? Do you think it's necessary for partners to have the same love language? And can love languages change over time in different relationships? And lastly, have you ever experienced challenges in relationships due to differences in love languages? Excuse me, sorry. The fourth love language is one of my favorites. I'm pretty. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Words of affirmation. One way to define words of affirmation would be words of appreciation or words of praise. It's any sort of verbal or even written communication that shows your partner how much they are loved and why. Think about how to give somebody words of affirmation that are about their being, that have to do with their personal qualities that this person brings. How generous they are, how kind they are, how funny they are, how smart they are, how flexible they are. They're not that way. Not that way. How gentle, kind, or compassionate they are. Leaving notes for them in their work bag. Giving them thoughtful cards just because. And taking the time to verbally acknowledge the things about your partner that you are grateful for and the things that you love about them. The next question is, love languages, stay tuned. Which love language do you find most fulfilling to receive? First part, which love language do you find most fulfilling to receive? And are there any love languages that you find particularly challenging to express or receive?
I think for me, words of affirmation is really hard to receive because I've gotten so used to when people in the past that I've dated have said things and not followed through on them or had ulterior motives when they've said things. So I think it's kind of closed me off to accepting like things at face value.
And it's funny you say that because even though words of affirmation is one of my love languages, sometimes I struggle with that too because of the ulterior motives that people might have behind it. But I would say gifts is like my biggest thing because I'm not a materialistic person, and it's just like I could do with or without. I'm really, like she said, simple when it comes to gifts. Some simple like my son making a mug or whatever as a gift, or a card. Like she's putting cards in my lunchbox, like to go to work, and I might be having a bad day. I open the lunchbox, I got a note in there. Her first time being here, she left a note on the mirror. When I took a shower, the note was on the mirror. I didn't even know it. She was like already back home. So stuff like that is very.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I think I'm gonna piggyback off of y'all really with the words of affirmation. It's really hard to take them because of how people are with their words. You know what I'm saying? It's quite difficult. And I think the more you get them, the more they seem watered down. And I get that a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially because of how I carry myself. Like, I love everybody, so I uplift and boost people all the time. But if your partner is a witness to this all the time, it kind of takes down the emphasis on when they receive it. So, and that's the same for me too. Like, I heard you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, it sounds good. But like, how long is this gonna be? You know what I'm saying? Like, how long will this be? Or when am I gonna see this though? You know what I'm saying? So, to receive it and giving is a strong number 2 though. It's not because I don't like receiving gifts. It's just the operatives behind it. Like, and because it's the same reason though. Some people like just give gifts so they can cover up whatever happened or what may be coming that happened, like a distraction, if you will. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of manipulative people that use these forms to like be underlined, and I don't like that either. I love.
I think what it is that they both, like, words of affirmation and receiving gifts both require the least amount of effort.
Real.
But they're the most fulfilling at the same time. Well, at least if that's your love languages.
Right. But they definitely require the least amount of effort.
I agree.
So the love language I find most fulfilling to receive definitely is quality time. That's my top love language, of course. But the love language that I find particularly challenging is actually all of them except for quality time. Is even though words of affirmation is the second and very close with my first. Especially being on a streamer, and as you see earlier, a lot, and there we go. See an example. People will say things all the time, and it really, to me, it has no weight unless it comes from the person you love. And so it's not even that it's hard to hear, those things, but it's more the intent behind it. Are you saying that because you have, like he said, intent behind it? Are you saying these things because you really mean them? Because people use words all the time without action behind it, or without like the real, like I said, even with him, I'll tell him I love him 30 times a day, but I changed it around because do you actually feel loved by me? It's okay. Do you actually I'm sorry. But do you actually
that is so bad. I was like, dang it.
But do you actually feel loved by me? Because I can tell you 100 times a day, but are my actions, is the quality time, are the actions, the acts of service, the gift giving, do you actually feel fulfilled and loved by me? Let me tell you. But because I think we spend so much time worrying about ourselves and how we feel, that we forget that we will forget about our partners too. Like of course, like, am I feeling loved, or do I need this because of this? And sometimes it may suck, and it may even hurt to give your partner their love language when they need it. Trust me, it does sometimes. It doesn't always feel good to love your partner and how they need it in that moment. But because you love them, you go through the pain of giving them what they need in that moment. It doesn't always feel good, And I think the love language that I find it challenging to express sometimes, even though I feel like I'm good with words sometimes, I don't always say the right thing, and so, or at the right time. And so that one can be pretty hard because I'm always afraid to say the wrong thing, or I don't want to, you don't want to hurt your partner when you're not, the meaning behind it or your intent behind it is not malice, of malice. But, we're all human, you know what I'm saying? And, you might not know exactly what they need to hear, but that's where it goes to telling your partner what you need in that moment sometimes. So I don't, or you don't have to, guess what it is that they need, And gifts, like I expressed earlier in the show, that gifts is really hard for me to receive because I don't know what the intent is behind it. Like, do you really want, did you really put thought into this, or are you gifting me because you want to cover up something, or just to try to, like I said, to shield my eyes from something deeper? You know what I'm saying? That is honestly like one of my hardest love languages is to receive. Especially because I'm not like I said, I'm not a materialistic person, and I don't ask anything. I don't want to ask anything of people, or even if they just do it just because, unless you could tell it was like from the heart. You know what I'm saying? You could kind of tell when someone really put thought into something, or if they just did it to do it. But if y'all are just pulling up, you're late.
That's okay.
And there you go.
What did you just say?
You can find us every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the Red Room Talk, y'all. You haven't missed everything we we still have a little bit more to discuss. We just discussed what your love, I can't stand him. And how did you discover it? Do you think it's necessary for partners to have the same love languages? Can love languages change over time? Have you ever experienced challenges in relationships due to the difference in love language? And finally, which love language do you find most fulfilling to receive? The last love language is physical touch. Bow, chicka, bow, bow.
It's not always about that.
I'm just kidding. That was just in my mind in that moment.
Okay, everybody can keep looking away.
I'm just teasing. No, it could be, like I spoke on it earlier, it could be a hug. But if you feel comfortable, loved, secure when you're physically connected to your partner, and physical touch might be your primary love language. It is about using your body to express connection and love. Actions include things beyond sexual intimacy. See, there you go. Like making an active effort to hold hands, hug, kiss, snuggle on the couch, give a massage, or anything else you and your partner enjoys in terms of physical touch. Physical touch can sometimes be risky, though, in the sense that for it to be well received, it has to be appropriate timing, it has to be timely, and it has to be in the intensity and in the kind that your partner likes and appreciates. So you have to really read your partner's body language. The next question: do you believe that understanding your partner's love language is crucial for a successful relationship? And what advice would you give someone trying to communicate their love language to their partner? So the first part, do you believe that understanding your partner's love language is crucial for a successful relationship?
Very much so. I mean, it's their want, it's their need. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get it. I don't understand how you could make it in a relationship. It's almost like it's a show of I don't care. You know what I'm saying? All I know is this is what I have to do. You see these stuff to be you know what I'm saying? Not because they can't. So, you gotta have an awareness and make it an expertise. If you care, I don't see how anything else would be accepted.
Yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily like taking the test is super necessarily important. Like you don't have to go that deep into it, but I think having a basic understanding of how you receive and how you can give love and being able to have that conversation and that communication with your partner and being able to say like, this is what I can give, this is what I struggle to give, what do you need, how do you receive, and then moving on forward from that. I think that's just basic understanding of relationships.
I agree. And I especially I'm not saying you have to take the test. I think if you want to take those extra steps to take the test to get a little bit deeper into what it is that and the way you love, then by all means do that. It's not going to hurt to do it. But if you don't, like she said and Preach said, like just having an understanding of the love languages and what, might stimulate that love for you. And then from there you can like share that with your partner so that they have that understanding as well.
So, what advice would you give? I'm gonna go to Juancho first. What advice would you give to someone trying to communicate their love language to their partner?
Can you mute me real quick?
Obviously. I'm sorry. Okay. Obviously, the communication part is like a huge part of that, and then with that communication, we, some of us tend to talk to respond. Or have a conversation to respond, but not actually receive the message. So I would say like have an understanding of what your partner is saying. If you don't have that understanding, ask questions. You know what I'm saying? Dig a little bit deeper into what it is they're trying to tell you as far as whether you're loving them the proper way or not loving them the proper way. If they, like she said, she likes to be touched. So if in that moment she wants to be touched and you're not picking that up and there's still like some tension or whatever going on, like start asking questions.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I feel like we said earlier, I think we just get too focused on ourselves and we don't actually sit down and say, okay, what can I give to my partner? What can I put towards this relationship for my partner? right? So even like with the physical touch, like, because that's a big love language of mine, I can see how in the past I haven't communicated that correctly because I get called clingy. So trying to operate around that and finding the best way to move around that, that's definitely a conversation that's necessary to have in a relationship for any of them.
For sure. What would be yours?
It was perfectly said.
Okay.
No, I copy and paste.
I copy and I pick things up and I put them down.
If this water goes in my nose one more time,
I definitely believe that understanding your partner's love language is crucial because I believe if you're not giving your partner that, it is very much could end your relationship. If you are unwilling, especially if you are unwilling, because I've seen relationships where their partner was just unwilling to compliment them, unwilling to step outside their comfort zone, even though that might be something that's hard. You know, you also have to be willing to be uncomfortable for your partner sometimes, and that is love. Sacrifice. Real love is sacrifice. Love is sacrifice. Love is sacrifice. Love is a verb. It is not just a feeling. Love is a verb. It is action. It is how you show, like this is Missouri, okay? The show me state. You know, how you show someone you love them, it is an action. It is a verb. You can't, I could tell you all day till I'm blue in the face, just like I said. I could tell them 100 times a day, I love you, but do you feel loved? Are my actions showing you, or do they make you feel indicative that I actually love you? Because you could tell me 100 times a day, but if you're out here trolloping and out here with females and doing or whatever, am I feeling loved if your actions are not showing that you are a loving, loyal person? Am I going to feel loved? No. So, you know, I think that love, understanding, and not just understanding, but implementing your partner's love language is crucial.
I want to throw another word out there too, vulnerability. You got to be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? And that's extremely hard, and that takes a level of trust to be able to apply that. And I think a lot of times vulnerability gets overshadowed by fear because of what could happen. But in a relationship, those are things that you got to take a risk with. You know what I'm saying? I will to the point where I will risk my vulnerability to make sure that I can accommodate to your love languages or loving you. Period. I didn't just limit to that love language. Vulnerability is definitely something that has to get looked at, especially for myself. And being like for men, because we struggle. Well, I don't like speaking for all men, but it is a struggle that I've noticed a lot. And it's hard for us to be vulnerable because we don't often have a safe haven to be. But we can't let that stop us at the same time, too. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to express that.
I'm definitely agree with that. And I guess advice that I would give to someone trying to communicate their love language is just saying it. Just telling your partner. I mean, really, it's just as simple and easy as expressing, you know, just verbally expressing what you need. Or even telling them how you need to be, like I said, not just verbally just saying like I need, but teaching them, show them how to love you right. Understanding and implementing love languages in your relationship helps to guarantee that you and your partner are going to feel more satisfied in the relationship. So if the people understand their own love language and their partner's love language, they are going to feel more taken care of and more satisfied because they are going to see the way that their partner shows love and appreciate that. And then they are going to see the way their partners stretch to show them the love they want to be shown love, and they are going to appreciate that even more. When you hear that sound, that means we are in our hot seat question segment. Our hot seat question is left up to the fate of the audience. I went to Instagram to ask our peers what they wanted to hear for this week's hot seat question. If you want your question to be featured on the next week's episode, make sure that you go to my profile, click that icon, and follow me on Instagram, and look out for the hot seat question post. Now is the time to enter in the comments who on the panel you want to answer tonight's question before I reveal it. Go ahead and answer now.
Where's she at?
Not that way. No. Yeah.
Not everybody.
No.
It looked like snow to me.
For real. It was coming in heavy.
I don't know. I don't see it. Y'all, my comments are broken.
Oh.
We can take a screenshot.
No.
What the deal?
I'm pretty sure
You cannot, right? Or you cannot.
Yes. So Snow. This week, someone wrote in and asked, "Do you have a love language not listed?" Explain. Do you have a love language not listed? Explain. And then I'll even explain mine if you want.
I feel like I want to explain mine too.
We can, you know what?
Y'all go. Give me time.
He's like, wait, I want to explain mine. Go ahead, Snow.
No, just kidding. I don't know. I don't know. I think honestly for me, like the easiest way to show me love is to be there. Honestly. Like be present in my life. Be part of my life. Show interest in what I have going on. Even if you don't take part in it, just being like, hey, you have this going on, that's dope. Like, just, I don't know, just put effort in. Can we just make effort one? I guess that's what it is effort. That's my love language is effort.
I acknowledge your effort. I clap for. She just. Oh, sorry.
Not once a week is good. Not just once a week.
King stuff.
Yeah, I seen a bunch of people say it, and it's most definitely music and food for me. Like, I love to eat. You know what I'm saying? I know I might not look like the biggest person in the world, but give me some food. Exemption on the pork. I don't do swine, but everything else is game. You know what I'm saying? Give me that nice plate. You know, give me some good music. Whether it be some throwback, you know, Motown or whatever that vibe is, like give me that good music so I can just, you know, be in my element.
But see, I don't know if for me, like I love music too, but I don't know if music is necessarily an outward love language of mine as so much as that's a very personal love language of mine.
Well, I share music. We share music with each other. So it's very much an outward thing. Like if I see a song that I like, it might remind me of her or whatever, I'll send it to her, vice versa.
Aww.
And that's how we came up with our song. It was just a share of a song, and it was just, you know. We have a couple.
Got a couple.
Music is powerful. I mean, even with apology, because Anita Baker done saved me in a relationship at the time. I apologize. Oh, believe me, I do. I'm honest and true, okay? Anita, she done came through for you, boy, a couple times. I ain't even gonna lie. I mess up a lot. But I think one of my favorites is recovery. We're gonna have hard times and we're gonna battle it out. But you know, when we show the effort and we overcome it with the effort that was applied, like we get stronger in relationship. You know what I'm saying? I think that's something that I don't hear being highlighted often because we're not perfect. Relationships aren't perfect or easy. So when we go through these things, it's like, yo, but we really fought to make sure it was going to be here. Like Jen said earlier, it's like we're going to go through the hard times and we have to do it even when we don't feel like it. When you see that effort and you know that they're struggling with something, it's like, damn, like, yo, I really couldn't stand your ass, but I was here for it. You know what I'm saying? Like we made that happen and we brought that back together though. And it's like, yo, we could really weather the storm. And I think that's something that really like just, come here, girl.
Perseverance.
Say the word, bro. I'll define it.
Perseverance.
Can you do that? Can you do that move one more time real quick?
Let me hold you.
Honestly,
Sorry.
honestly, he's like, I'm done. Finito. Over. Definitely music is top tier. Poetry, I love writing poetry for my partner. That's I mean, as far as giving, I love to write poetry, which is also words of affirmation. But music is just, it's just that thing. Sometimes I could send you a music and tell you how I'm feeling about something. Maybe it could be in a good way or a bad way, or tell you how much I really love you, or just kind of express something maybe they're going through, and that's a way to like make them feel not so alone. But definitely when you kind of said something, and I'm gonna bring up a video real quick. I know we're at the end of the show, y'all. But when you said presence, and I think that's something I didn't realize. Like, it's really, for me, especially, I've kind of been left to fend for myself a lot in my life. And so when you said it, it just really kind of like, it presence. And then we're not talking about quality time. We're talking about sometimes just being there. I might not even need you to say anything. I might not need you to do anything. No, don't give me anything. But sometimes presence is just it. I'm going to go ahead and just...
My one real quick. Yeah. I know I said food, but can I change it to birria tacos?
I'll say good food.
Look, I make the best birria tacos. I know that he's telling the truth. This man ate 10 or 30. He ate 30 of them in 3 days, okay? This man ate a whole lot of birria tacos in one night, okay? I've never seen someone eat that many tacos in one night.
Give me hummus. Just give me hummus and a salad, and I'm
That's
good.
also what she said. We'll just go there.
Okay.
There's a lot of dings in the comments.
Hold on. And that's what she said? Daniel, what is this?
Is this all you need to offer in a situation like that? Is like just to be.
I did it again. Sorry, y'all. I'd be sending myself.
The ministry of presence. Sometimes that's all you need to offer a person who's in a situation like that. Is like just to be present. And she was present for me at a time that I didn't deserve to have nobody in my life. She's a real one. She's a real one. It's the first time I really understood love, because I have nothing to give. And I was sitting there thinking like, well, I don't have nothing. It's not sexy to be with me. And you're showing up for me like you're gonna be tied to this shit? It didn't make no fucking sense. And love is irrational that way. You can't rationalize real love. It doesn't make any fucking sense. The ministry of presence. Sometimes it's all you.
And I think, like, I shared this on our Soul Food Sunday page. For any of you guys who want to go follow that, you can find it by searching my Instagram. But when I watched that for the billionth time, actually. But I kind of just teared up because I'm like, sometimes it's just sitting next to someone in the silence. It doesn't have to be, like I said, it's not always just quality time. It could just be when it's the worst time, when it's not pretty or it's not the best timing. Sometimes it's just showing up, because a lot of times people don't show up. So I just had to share that, just because that really is like a love language. That's really just presence. It doesn't have to be anything more or anything less. But if y'all are just pulling up, this has been the Red Room Talk. You can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's almost over, y'all. Don't cry. Today's topic was speak your love language. You're definitely late, but that's okay. You can find us on YouTube, which you can find by clicking the icon in my profile and subscribing, y'all. But I always wrap up the show with like a place of healing. I end with a quote to kind of wrap it up all together. So this week's quote is, "Love has a language all its own. When you speak with your heart, no words are needed." VVJ. Y'all, this has been the Red Room. I love and appreciate each and every one of y'all in the box. Y'all did phenomenally, and I definitely appreciate y'all being on here tonight and giving the answers that you gave and giving us a piece of y'all. So I definitely appreciate y'all for making this a better love language show, y'all. As always, we're polite here on the Red Room. Miss Snow Bunny, if you'd like to give your outro, then we can move on to the gentleman.
Hi everybody, I'm Snow Bunny. You can catch me with G-Way, you can catch me with King of Diamonds, and on Sundays I have a show with Nikki 24/7, 10 a.m. Eastern, so pull up tomorrow for that in Nikki's Live.
Look, preach positive here. I'm an activist for kindness at all times and maintaining respect. You know what I'm saying? We represent women on Wednesdays for Praise Our Women Wednesdays with someone I like to call my co-host Doug. And I have a one-liner that I've been saying a lot lately. I'm gonna go ahead and hit y'all with it too. Live your best today for your tomorrow, so you don't have to live another yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And I think that would help accommodate to anxiety and depression. Anxiety is thinking or thoughts of the future, and depression is staying in the past. If you focus on your right now, prepare for your tomorrow, it'll help you with your yesterday.
Go ahead, Wancho.
Well, I'm your fill-in co-host, Wancho Number. You can find me every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Pour It On. You can also find me on Sunday with your host, Gin and Juice, for Soul Food Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also find me on Tuesday again with Gin and Juice for game night. We do trivia, riddles, and emoji charades. And your original co-host, G-Way or No Way, on Wednesdays for Sports Block. So, fellas, make sure y'all tap in for that. We need your insight and input.
I am the co-host. I am the host of this very show, y'all. You can find me every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here. But definitely, you can find us also on Tuesdays for game night, like he just said. Then every Thursday, I do judge the Getting Lit Studios Productions featured show. Getting Lit is the longest running music show right here on this app. And then also, you can find me on Sundays for Soul Food Sunday. This week we are actually talking about interracial relationships, y'all. So make sure y'all pull up. It's going to be a great conversation. But other than that, that's about it. So let me go ahead and play a little ditty and then we can get up on out of here.
Sounds production. What up, sound? Sounds production. What up, sound?